Welcome to CCTV America. I'm Elaine Reyes. Iraq remains caught in the grip of widespread violence. In the capital of Baghdad, 2 car bombs killed 15 people with 21 wounded, and the United Nations increasingly fears for the Iraqi town of Amerli. Islamic State forces have it isolated while they attack the Iraqi Turkmen people there. For the latest on that and more, CCTV's Sean Calebs joins me now from Erbil. Sean.
Yeah, Elaine, a tremendous amount of concern about that town that is about 160 to 170 kilometers to the northeast of Baghdad. As you mentioned, the Islamic State has that area ringed. It has for several months now. Basically, the Islamic State has cut off food, water, other supplies, medicine from getting into that small area as well. Electricity has been cut off. The United Nations is concerned that it is ripe for what they call a massacre, the same kind of horror we saw unfold in the northwestern portion of this country to the Yazidis, the group that supports an ancient religion in this area. You remember they were subjected to horrible circumstances by the Islamic State, forced to go to Mount Sinjar. Hundreds of people died en route to that. The major concern, this could happen again. If the Islamic State would attack this area, this is what the UN Special Envoy had to say about that.
We have spoken very clearly and probably loudly enough about the need to establish, probably enforce, a humanitarian corridor, which objective is twofold. The first one is to break besieging civilians, but the most important is to take out to a safe haven children, women, and families.
Well, the people of that area are basically farmers, but they've been forced to defend themselves to try and hold off the Islamic State. The United States, meanwhile, has launched about 100 airstrikes in this country, and they did open up a corridor for the Yazidis. However, there are no plans that we know of at this point for the U.S. or any other international authority to intercede on the behalf of those people in Amerli. Elaine?
And Sean, U.S. General Martin Dempsey recently spoke of the need for more regional cooperation to handle the Islamic State. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of that, not only from the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff for the United States, but this past weekend, the foreign minister from Iran was in Baghdad, basically saying the Islamic State is going to take a concerted effort by all in this area. They're talking about people in Syria, in Turkey, in Iran. The big problem, however, just how fractured Iraq is. This is the country that is currently run by the Shiite majority here in this area, and the Sunni minority feel that they've just been victimized. They've been frozen out of government. They've been punished by the majority in this area. So there's a lot of bad will between those two sides within this country. So the chairman of the Joint Chiefs says there's going to have to be a concerted diplomatic effort, as well as getting all these sides together to cooperate in some kind of military fashion to drive out the Islamic State, Elaine.
And Sean, what can you tell us about reports that the U.S. and Britain may use kill teams to hunt down IS leaders?
Yeah, that's something we've heard some rumblings of, just how active the UK and the United States are going to get in terms of putting troops on the ground. We're not talking about thousands and thousands of troops like we saw in Iraq in 2003 and Afghanistan beginning in 2001. What they're talking about are Special Air Service troops from Great Britain, as well as Delta and SEAL teams from the United States, putting in small, basically what they're calling kill teams. This is coming from an article in the Guardian, and basically these kill teams would go down and hunt for the leaders of the Islamic State, like Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and simply try to kill these leaders. They believe once they take out the people who are running the violent Islamic State, the institution itself will begin to wither. But right now, a firm stronghold in Syria, making more inroads here in Iraq, northern Iraq. It's going to take a great deal of effort. We don't know to what degree those kill teams are being put together, if they're being put in this area right now. But certainly that's something that a lot of people in Iraq are certainly hoping for, to try and break the stronghold that the Islamic State has on much of this region.
All right, CCTV's Sean Calebs reporting live from Erbil.